You got an hour. You got.
Shut the fuck up, Oliver.
PizzaFellas podcast right here. The hottest in the world.
It's a PizzaFellas podcast.
There we go.
So we better have a blast. Grab a drink, fill a glass, light a cigar. Come on, let's make it last. Pizza talk with Sal and Joe, Oliver, Antonio. Pizza stories they gonna tell us. Let's have some fun with the PizzaFellas.
PizzaFellas podcast right here. The hottest in the world. I was fire.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Episode 36, PizzaFellas podcast, episode 36. That's a good cigar, huh? You like those? What are those?
This is Avos.
Avos? Those are good.
This is my second time smoking it, but
That's what this is, an Avo.
what?
Right here. That's an Avo.
No,
They're good cigars.
no, you're smoking the aging room.
No, there's the sticker's right there.
Where?
Over there.
Okay.
Well, anyways, guys, episode 36. Remember, go follow us on Spotify, YouTube, subscribe, hit that bell, comment on the reels. All our episodes are out. This is almost a couple weeks from now. We have a food show, Anna Capri's food show, May 13th. So we're going to try to go live from that, so look out for that.
We are going live.
We have some exciting things coming up in the future with some bars we're going to be at, do some live Sunday parties with the Miller Lite girls. Hopefully Joe Marino, a good friend, can get us those old school Miller Lite girls. That would be fun. But other than that, guys, let's get into it. Let's get to our sponsors here.
I'm cutting my cigar.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, give me a little. I gotta warm up a little bit.
You've been here since fucking
warming up.
8 o'clock.
No, I was here earlier.
Whatever.
Yeah. Jeff Adams, Remax Realty, 610-972-5323, New York and fucking New York. New Jersey and Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Enter.net, marketing, social media, website design. Our good man Juicy over there. If you need a little website done, Juicy's got you. Franco's Pizza, Rosenfilippo Belia, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. As I always say, before you get locked up, have some food. There you go.
Have a slice.
Lehigh Valley Pizza Shops. To my left of me, to your right of you, is Mr. Oliver Nasri right here, to the left. TNY Construction, our good man, Tony Nasser. No job too big, no job too small. All your construction needs. Master Supply, Barb and Kevin Master. Coincidentally, Dave Sweeney is sitting in the back over there. I see him drinking over there with his bad foot. Banko Beverage, Joe Marino, Jim Glassick. Yeah, Jim Glassick. Why am I so fucking confused? And Tony Gallo. Thank you again. Calypso, Zoa, Pabst, Jack Daniels. Get those little drinks into you. Tonight we have a special guest, which is Bobby Arena. Bobby Arena is the Lehigh County Republican Committee office manager. And Joe and I seen him at the Trump rally 2 weeks ago, Saturday. He got us the seats. Thank you again, Bobby.
Thank you again, Bobby. That was awesome.
So we have him on tonight for a little bit of, as they say in show business, politics, right? So we're going to take that and see where this goes tonight.
Well, let's give a shout off to having Bobby here.
Salute. Salute to everybody there.
Salute.
And then why don't we dive right into it, Bobby? Why don't you give us a little background of where you came from, what you were doing, and how you ended up here in PA?
From Brooklyn, New York. I moved out here in 2019.
Was he playing tennis, that guy?
I was a New York City sanitation worker. I retired in 2018. I started a 501c3 youth organization. I did that for 5 years. And once my son was moving out here to come to Muhlenberg to play baseball, I decided to call it quits and, finally buy my first house. And
you said in 2019 you came out here?
I came out here in July of 2019.
Wow, just in time before the chaos.
Right before COVID.
Where'd you live in Brooklyn, Bobby?
I started in Bensonhurst, Gravesend, and last 12 years I was in Bergen Beach.
Now, growing up, you grew up in Brooklyn, correct?
My whole life.
So growing up there, were you ever interested in politics as a young kid?
I wasn't interested in politics until pretty much right before 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a career change. You
what
really
jumped you in
jumped in there.
What'd you see that?
My son was always involved, so as I started the 501c3, you have to get involved with local politics to get fields and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So obviously everything's Democrat in Brooklyn. So it started with Eric Adams, who's now the mayor, who was the Brooklyn Borough president.
What a guy.
Yeah, I got stories about him.
Oh, my God.
But
You see, real quick, not to interrupt you, you see what happened to him the other day?
No,
He
what?
was on a plane like 2 days ago, coming
Slain?
back, and some lady goes, "Fuck you, Eric Adams, fuck," like he's screaming at him. Screaming at him,
Expressing
yeah.
an opinion.
guy's a disaster.
Oh, my
I was
God.
like, well, holy shit. Anyways.
So I got him involved early with everything we did was community service. I never wanted to just be baseball. I wanted to build actual resumes for the kids because you get a lot more college money when you're doing all the stuff in the streets. So we were doing everything from pediatric cancer to cancer runs to everything. And my son it was his idea, and he got it from wrestling. But when they started going pink and, John Cena
Yep.
and the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So he pitched it to me. I'm like, great idea, let's do it. And we were the first organization to actually make it big. And people started following, which is a great thing.
That was strictly in Brooklyn, or did you go out to other boroughs and stuff?
We played everywhere.
Really? Okay, so you're traveling.
We traveled.
You traveled.
Yeah. But when he pitched it, I let him run with it. And he got to meet, at the time, Mayor de Blasio. He spoke. He passed a bill and spoke at 14 years old in New York City Council, which I still have on videotape. It's amazing.
And this was all to help your organization so you could get support from them.
Yes.
For doing good for the community.
And
so you had to play the game.
Yeah, and he was the head guy that the Cancer Society used to, they called it knock tobacco out of the park, where they banned chewing tobacco in Yankee Stadium and Citi Field.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he was the one.
What year was that?
He was 14. He's 22 now. Wow.
Oh, so that was
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Wait, you get smoking Yankee Stadium? I guess so.
Chewing tobacco.
Oh, chewing tobacco.
Okay.
Not that they stopped doing it, but it's banned.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it was at least something was passed.
So something was passed, and when I say it works, he started working for a senator in Brooklyn. He got the highest scholarship that Muhlenberg has ever given out. I mean, he pretty much went there for free, which
God
is
bless.
a $70,000
Yeah,
school.
it's a fucking expensive school.
Serious?
Right, Steve?
He worked
He
for
knows.
he worked for a Democrat senator in Brooklyn. He gets this letter from the senator. He gets into Muhlenberg. I mean, we didn't pay for anything. And then he becomes Republican and starts working for Donald Trump on the Trump team in 2020.
How the hell did he do that?
He became the president of college Republicans in Muhlenberg. I mean, when we came here,
So a Democrat got him in.
Democrat
and
got him in.
Then he was like, now I can do my thing.
That ironic.
We all registered as Republican.
You got to play the game,
And
man.
You played the right
And he
game.
ran with it. So,
How many years was he at Muhlenberg?
Georgette.
He left after a year and a half. He wanted to. We didn't agree with it at the time, but he wanted to chase his dream in politics. He's been involved for a long time, so he bet on himself. I allowed him to do it, and when he did it, he started working with the Trump team as a volunteer. He
Here in Pennsylvania.
right here in Lehigh County.
Okay.
He was brought in, somebody obviously recruited him, a friend of his. And then from the Trump team, he got his first job was in my seat. He worked in my chair at my desk way before I did. So he was the executive director of the Lehigh County Republican Committee. And from there, he was hired from the RNC. He was the youngest data director in the whole country at 19. So now, he's training out in D.C., and he's doing a good job, but he's underage.
Right.
And, at night, he's alone in the hotel, and we're on the phone with him, but he did his work. He had no data experience whatsoever. So he was driving every night to Drexel, getting trained and learning, and by a friend of his that went there from Brooklyn. And he learned it on his own, and he did it for a year. He signed his year contract, did a great job, made a lot of connections. And from there, he got hired by Senator Jared Coleman. He's working with Senator Jared Coleman now.
Wow. Nice.
Kid's doing a good job.
So now coming forward to you, how do you get to where you are?
He put me there.
He put you there.
Yeah, my son put me there, which is fun.
Did he have to convince you?
No, he didn't have to convince me. I was retired. I've been sitting on the couch for 3 years. And he thought it was a perfect situation for me to do what I love, and tired of me complaining. He brought me there. He introduced me to the chairman, drove a show, and it went on from there. And I've been there now 17 months.
17 months.
17
so
months.
Over
I've been
a year.
There. Yeah.
So when you first got there, coming from New York, obviously you must have saw things, changes needed to be made, or assistance to some thought processes, or, we're talking people in politics, so sometimes, nothing against them, but you're coming from building the organization you did, also the stuff you do with baseball, and then working in the sanitation. So you see life in a different color.
Well, yes, you're a union guy, so everything's Democrat. You're told to vote Democrat. Democrats control the unions, and the union guys make money from the Democrats. So, but if you look through the FDNY, NYPD, DSNY, the family values are Republican.
Right.
Most people vote Republican. Most people don't vote in New York because we tend to think it doesn't matter. There hasn't been a Republican in New York since Giuliani.
Yeah, it's Bloomberg. Bloomberg.
He was
well,
more. Yeah,
he's Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhino. He showed that his colors.
Yeah. He wasn't a terrible mayor.
He wasn't bad.
He
Joe.
wasn't a bad mayor.
Well, the city was under control.
He got bad afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did.
Giuliani's the one that cleaned the city.
Giuliani did a great job in the city.
After Koch and after Dinkins.
Dinkins.
Oh,
my
you got to
God.
say. I mean, that's what it was.
Forget about it.
I remember the times that I knew Giuliani was going after a lot of shit. So during the nightclub days, he's the one that came down on everything.
He came down on the Italians.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
came heavy.
He went after the fish market.
Yeah.
He cleaned it up.
He cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Oh, the city was the best it was.
Yeah.
Like Times Square before he was there, Times Square was just filled with just porn and bullshit, live sex shows.
I was just talking to my wife about that the other day.
Crazy.
It just came up. It was disgusting.
It was horrible.
Really?
When you would come up,
I don't remember anything.
42nd
Too
Street
young.
was just abandoned building,
It was bad.
drugs, this, that, sex this, sex that. It was a crazy fucking world.
Yeah, it was-
It
Well,
it wasn't-
from doing the nightclubs.
Yeah, well, the nightclubs, what happened was, people were making money in nightclubs illegally. And I remember, I'll never forget it. It was like 5 a.m., 4 a.m., and all you saw was cops come in. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And you're talking about a nightclub filled with like 4,000 or 5,000 people, and just cleaning it up. I'm like, what the? It was like over. The fucking song. The song came to an end.
You were in it?
Oh yeah, I was in it.
Limelight?
Yeah,
Oh, it was Limelight?
yeah. Look at my hat. So yeah, that all came to an end. And now we're like, where the fuck we gonna go?
And last time we were back at Limelight, we were in a pizza shop now. What the hell is the name of the place?
Grimaldi's.
Grimaldi's is there.
Yeah.
Well, listen, moving forward here, I got a quick question to throw at you, just a thought process. 2020 election, your feelings on it?
My feelings on the 2020 election. I'm going to really contradict myself because I hate talking about the 2020 election. Being involved, I try to stay in the background. I try to listen to the committee meetings. I try to listen to everybody and watch everybody. Had to study people to get to know people, and I kept quiet. Just this past meeting, I kind of got up, spoke, blew up a little bit. I get kind of angry because I work the same way I coached. I parent the same way I coach. I coach the same way I parent. Mm-hmm. I know you used to coach. I don't know if you feel it the same way and you do it the same way. Every kid I've ever coached is my son. I treat him the same way I would treat my own son, and I work the same way. My work ethic is one way, and that way is to win. I think the 2020 election was something that we've never seen before. Election integrity has been a major, major thing, but we complain about it a lot. And we're in 2024, and we're losing. We've lost every year in Pennsylvania. We won in 2021 a little bit, and we got destroyed in 2022 and 2023. And when we talk about it, all I see coming out of it is people tend to not vote after it. So
Discourages them, in other words.
it absolutely
Yeah.
discourages them. So when you talk about a mail-in ballot per se, which is destroyed the 2020 election,
Absolutely.
and it's the reason why Donald Trump lost. What do you do as if you were coaching against me, and I decide, all right, I'm going to start cheating and hitting you guys and penalties behind the referee's back? What do you do as a coach? Do you complain to the referee? Do you think you're going to win that way, or do you change your game plan?
Change your game
You got to
plan.
change your game plan. And the Republican Party needs to change their game plan. And for the last year, I'm trying to change mindsets, because everything in life is a mindset.
Right.
So if you have a mindset of, all right, we got cheated, and this is the reason, if, let's just say, President Trump, who's been in court for 4 years, if he can't beat the system, what makes us think by talking about it we're going to change anything? We're not changing anything. They're here to stay. Now, if we want to change it, we need to vote. And when you vote, you get to win. And when you win, you get to change laws. But if we complain about it, when do you see us winning?
With that perspective, because we had a conversation prior. So, example for this last primary, we have 81,000 registered voters in Lehigh County.
So
And how many showed up?
we had 80. We have 84,000
84,000?
registered Republicans in Lehigh County.
84,000?
84,000 registered Republicans. We had about a 31% turnout, which
Tuesday.
on Tuesday. So it depends on who you ask.
What's the average?
Under 25,000 people.
on
right?
a primary?
Yeah.
You're right around there,
Percentage-wise.
percentage-wise. I look at it as we're not in normal times.
All right.
So
I agree.
we all have families. We all we all have businesses, and we all have futures,
Right.
and we all might have future grandchildren. If we can't come out to vote now, with the way society is today and what this country is falling apart, the way it's happening so quick,
So fast they're pushing it.
what makes us think, like, what are we doing?
What are we
You know,
doing? Yeah.
Why can't we be inconvenienced for a day? Like, so for a quick example, I take a phone call Tuesday about 1:30 in the afternoon. I need a ride to the poll. I can't drive. Why didn't you think about this beforehand? Why are we calling? Now, we sent someone to our house. We picked her up. We took her to the poll. But isn't it much easier to vote
To
by
be
mail?
ahead,
proactive? Yeah.
Vote by mail. I do it. My daughter's away for college. She does it. My wife travels for work. It just so happens she always travels around Election Day.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. Like,
And we talked about that. You
Yeah.
just don't know. You could get sick. Something could happen in
Anything.
your family.
Anything
you
can
can't get
happen.
to the poll.
Are you one that believes when they say that Election Day throughout the country should be a day of like rest where everyone's off of work and
I
stuff like
think
that?
everybody should be off for work. Yes.
I
Like it's
agree.
one day where everyone shuts down on Election Day. Doesn't matter what. Obviously, it's usually Tuesday
Yes.
mostly.
Yeah.
But that Tuesday, every business shuts down. Everyone has to go vote.
I don't know about every business.
No, but you know what I mean. Like
Yes, schools should
the
be
days
shut down.
off,
You should have a
schools.
day
That's what
off.
I'm
Yes.
saying. No,
Yes.
yeah.
Listen,
It should be a national holiday.
I got
Yes.
something, though, that just came to mind. When we're talking about all this voter, getting out to vote, though, and all this. What about having voter ID? Why is this why is this on both sides of the aisle such a difficult thing to agree to? You need an ID to go to the library. You need an ID to buy, gift cards. If you go to a supermarket
Yes.
and you're bringing them out, you got to pay for those. I want to see your ID.
So that guy-
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You need ID for everything.
Yeah, but listen to me real quick.
I
that
get
guy,
ID'd every time I vote.
Yeah, everywhere.
Only because
I don't get ID.
I have a son with the same name, and he always votes early.
Oh,
So I always get ID'd.
but
when I
this
vote
guy
personally.
Mike, you remember Mike from PDQ came in today?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So he's telling me the story while you were back there making dough. He went to vote today. Goes in and votes.
Yesterday, you mean?
No, or excuse me, Tuesday, yeah, yesterday. And he goes in, walks in, your name, tells him his name, says, "All right, here you go." And he goes, "Are you going to ask me for my ID?"
No.
Guy's like, he's like, "Well, you don't need my ID, so I can go vote." And the guy's like, "Listen, I'm with you, but just go ahead." And you can see that he's told me the two ladies like to the side, like put their heads down because they weren't like. But he was right. He was in shock. They didn't ask.
No,
him
they
for
asked
anything.
me Tuesday.
No, I never get asked.
It always depends on where you are, who you're voting with. I always get ID when I vote in person. I voted by mail this year, but I always got ID because my son has the same last name, same first name, and he always votes early because he's always working on election day.
We talked here about mail-in ballots and stuff, and listen, I'm not trying to beat a dying horse when I say this. I just have questions because you're a person that's in the know in my mind, and I vote. I go and vote, so I know my vote is needed. You know, honey, make sure you go vote. We talked about what's on there. I told her this is how I see it, you know, and because she's not as following it as I am. But when you see a movie like Dinesh D'Souza's 2,000 Mules, did you ever see it?
I did.
The thing that mind boggles me is what I'm trying to understand is where, like, he basically laid out the mules, how they have their ID, because this is paying. He can find who these people were. You know who the person is that owns this phone. They're doing, was it 28 drops or 36 drops in a night? Some are going over the Waltman Bridge in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia from New Jersey.
From New Jersey. They're stopping at nonprofit organizations. They're being paid in cash when they go and do all these bags of ballots. I mean, the monstrosity of just saying that is, how does an organization, a group, the DNC, whoever it is, what's Blue Line, that one organization, they have Blue something. Anyway, how do they put that much cash out on the street at all these institutions? Think about the managing of that. But at the end of the day, when I saw that movie, I said to myself, he basically laid out for any district attorney across the country the mapping of who these people were. And all you had to do was go from the little guy up. Why were you here? You're on this camera. Yeah. What were you doing? Yeah. Why did you go from here to here and grab another bag? And you're like, who paid you there? Who paid you here? When you look at our current country and you see these crazy attorney generals, these crazy district attorneys pulling all these things against President Trump, where's the guy on our side that has, why doesn't somebody say, look, there's something here. This is an investigation that needs to be, the guy laid it out for us. Let's subpoena that information. Let's get those pings, and let's start charging these people. And just go from one city to, because they did it in, what they do it in? Atlanta, Georgia. They did that in Arizona.
Detroit, Michigan.
They did it up in Wisconsin. They did it in those battleground states. Not one person took the information. It's laid out. Bobby Bo over here, or Joey Joe, just did 16 days straight. And you go and get every one of these people, round them up, and you do the investigation. You could be taking them down left and right. You could clean up elections so fast with that proof. It bothers me.
The DAs aren't even going to take
No, DAs aren't going to touch it.
They're not going to touch it.
It was only in the big Democratic cities. Like, I only know Lehigh County.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And
it gets a lot bigger than what we know and what you know until
of course.
It just, that's how it is.
You know, I can say in Lehigh County there's 5 Dropbox locations. And they're illegal. There's no such law that there should be Dropboxes.
No, there's not.
But they're here.
You're
so
right.
when you get it, when these people, so we're in Lehigh County. We had to have some instances like this, I'm sure. I'm just my opinion. But
we did.
Where is that bag?
So we have all the videotape of the 5 drop boxes in Lehigh County. And we've been looking at it every election for hours and hours. So many people have watched
Jesus,
video.
That's got to be fucking tedious.
It's terrible.
That's got to be horrible work.
It's literally like watching paint dry.
A fucking mailbox for 5 hours. You know how much weed I'd have to smoke to fucking watch a mailbox for 5 hours?
I'm not personally watching the video. I honestly don't have the patience for it. But we have a lot of volunteers that have put a lot of time into this. And they've logged everything. They've logged everything. There's nothing there. Here. It was in Philly. This is the first year I did it. And I dropped it off election morning. No, the day before election day. I dropped it off on Monday morning on my way into the office. And when I got there, it's right at the Lehigh Authority building on Spruce Street, right behind the Wawa. I've never done it before. This is the first year. Sheriff truck is outside. I walk in, there's a sheriff and one of our committee members that works in the voter registration office. They're counting the ballots, and it's already in a bin. So I started talking to them, and they knew exactly who I was, and I tried to place my ballot in their bin. I wasn't allowed. It was already counted. So I had to put it in the box to be picked up on Election Day morning. And you're able to track it. My ballot was received on Election Day. They give you the exact timestamp and everything. Do a few not get delivered? Yes, it happens. It happened to one that I put in for someone. And all they do is they go down and get a provisional ballot and they vote in person. But I felt more comfortable knowing, A, a Republican that we know as part of our committee is actually taking them out, and B, you have a sheriff overseeing the whole thing. And, you know, it's important for us to see it because just because I'm there doesn't mean I know everything. You know,
Right.
I'm learning as I go. And I felt more comfortable seeing that.
And where would you say, when we say we saw in the movie bags of ballots, I know it's Philly.
Yeah.
Where do these bags?
You know, I don't know. I remember the movie. He did a great job. I have full faith in what he does. I'm a big fan of him.
Well, don't forget, he was put in jail by President Obama,
course,
and then
yes.
Trump. You know, that was a whole different kind of thing.
You can say everything you want about the 2020 election. It's never been done again. Never done before. I don't think they can do it again in that aspect.
What do you mean by it hasn't been done before, though?
And that there's
You mean that
Meaning
way?
stealing?
that
Well, it
listen,
has
there-
been.
I mean-
years ago, there was.
There's fraud
Abe
in every
Lincoln.
election.
100%.
Every
What happened
election.
to Abraham Lincoln?
It's been going on forever.
Right.
Nothing at that scale. We've never seen anything like that in that scale.
What about the electronic data?
When
I mean, they
came out?
killed
When
JFK.
people say when people
Think about it.
spike overnight,
We're not going to get into JFK because that's a whole nother.
I mean,
the
the
same
CIA
exact
killed
thing.
him.
Yeah.
but is that electronic interference? I mean, when Liddell did his thing, he was coming out showing all this electronic interference coming from so many different entities around the world and within. Is there any worry to these machines if they're connected to the internet? Are we still using those
Let's
machines?
go back to last year, just this past election in 2023.
Okay.
Look what happened in Northampton County.
Oh, yeah.
The machines are changing the votes. There's always that issue everywhere you go. You know, so if a Democrat loses, the machines are no good. If a Democrat wins, the machines are the safest machines in the world. But there is solid proof that in Northampton County in 2023, the machines were changing the votes.
Nothing done about it.
They're saying they fixed it. Was there anything done at the election? No.
You know what fucking pisses me off? I'll tell you what pisses me off. Both sides of the aisle, both culprits. In what? $95 billion fucking bill that went through legislation that they passed.
Yes.
For the Ukraine, right? Yeah, we got a good deal. The other side, yeah, we got a great deal. Take that fucking money that you want to give to Ukraine and buy fucking voting machines. Real ones.
What?
You know why it won't happen? Because they both benefit from it. Now, listen. I'm a Republican as they come. But at certain times in our time right now, we're both at fault.
100%.
Because
Not to interrupt you, right there. House
House
passes.
passes a $95 billion foreign aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. That's nice. What about us?
The worst part about that is watching American politicians wave Ukrainian flags.
Oh, I can't fucking stand it. I listen. Nothing against the
to
Ukrainian
me-
people, but that country is corrupt. And Zelensky is nothing against the people there. It's just Zelensky and that country are in. It's
It goes
blatant.
back to why
It's
they
very
didn't want
blatant.
Trump to look into Ukraine.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's blatant like that.
Everything is blatant.
Yeah.
The light.
We lost the light.
Steve, thank you.
But
You know,
yeah, that's crazy.
but,
A 95. Well, why is that not coming back?
There we go.
It's
Well,
crazy.
Yeah, but
It's in the cord.
to reiterate like what I was trying to say with mindsets,
Plug the cord in.
you know, we're losing.
There we
You
go.
know, and again, if you're on the side of, you're a football coach, I'm a baseball coach.
Yep.
But if we're playing football and you're up by 4 touchdowns,
I'm still scoring.
At halftime.
I'm scoring another 4.
I gotta go into the locker room and change my game plan. And the only way to combat what they're doing is to use their tools that they gave us.
Yeah, but also, too, like just what I was saying. So you're up 4. They need to understand when they're up 4 like that, keep going. You got to want to go up 8.
Well, yes.
You know what I mean?
So,
they always, to me, the Republicans, the biggest problem with them is when they think they're winning, the Democrats are still coming back with something crazier.
they never stop.
Was they got
never-
the
they never
fucking
stop.
fun, Sal.
And
That's the
The
problem.
Republicans are just happy being here, and I'm like, bro, you guys are just behind.
I wouldn't say that
to these idiots.
It's a big money thing.
Yeah.
So the Democratic Party just opened up 13 offices in Pennsylvania.
Huh, how many we open?
None. Not that I know of. I mean, we're trying to open up an Hispanic office in Allentown. We're still waiting for the funding and the building for that.
That's ridiculous.
You know-
See, they would have the funding like that.
Well, they have
outlets.
billions and billions of dollars behind them.
Yeah, they have outlets,
Yeah,
big time.
billions. We don't.
No.
We just don't have it. Even like our committee, everyone assumes we're attached to the RNC.
You're not.
We're our own entity. We raise money. Like when I first met you,
Yeah.
came in here asking for a sponsorship. That's how we met.
Right.
And then you introduced me to 2 other restaurant owners.
Well, yeah, I threw Jerry at you.
Yes. Well, I grew up with Jerry in the same
Yeah,
block.
same
It's
block.
crazy.
Jerry on the block.
But
Shut up.
that's how we fund what we do, and that's not easy. That's not easy. So when you're, pulling at straws to try to raise money to do something, and let's just say you can't raise the money, how do you do it? Where they have billions and millions of dollars thrown at them. There's 501c3s everywhere.
It's amazing.
Your back's against the wall the whole time.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so you're always the underdog.
Always.
We're always going to be the underdog. And now we're in April.
But there's always times that the underdog always comes up.
100%.
So what I'm saying is,
Want to
once
look at
they
my
come
parlay
up,
tonight?
get going.
this
that
thought-
hits.
That's exactly what you're saying is exactly what I'm trying to portray. Like it is a mindset.
It's a mindset.
So if we're down 3-1 on mail-in ballots,
Yeah.
how do you win?
You got to go
We have to vote by mail.
fight it.
We're in April and we're down by 300,000 mail-in ballots. What's going to be the number in November?
So
Oh,
people
shit.
are mailing their ballots in for November now?
They're applying for it. Wow. So the Democrats actually had a lower turnout than Republicans in this primary.
Well,
They had more votes because there's more Democrats, but they had a lower turnout. We were at 31% in Lehigh County. They were like 24.5%.
How many registered Democrats in Lehigh County?
There's 245,000. We
We have 84.
5,000.
Yo, there's a
There's
bunch
a lot of
lists up in this
independents.
place.
There's a lot
But
of
where
independents.
are these people hiding?
I don't know.
Oh, they're not hiding. They're
They're not
right.
hiding.
They're in
You know.
plain sight.
There
There could be one right in this
they
room
just
right now.
vote
We
by
wouldn't
mail.
even know.
What was that, Bobby?
They vote by mail.
Right, that guy over there.
Wow.
So we have people checking in the office at every hour on all these different locations. I'm only seeing Republicans. I'm only seeing Republicans. I'm only seeing Republicans. Everyone's getting excited. Everybody thinks we're doing great.
I didn't say you.
The numbers say differently. They don't need to vote in person.
It's Rick.
They stay at home. They voted They voted 3 weeks ago, and their votes are already in. So even Donald Trump has started to embrace it and knows that we can't win without it.
What's the whole thing about the money thing? What's the whole thing about the money? When people say, we got to raise more money, we can win. We got to raise more money, we can win. I've heard that said to me.
Federal, I have no idea. I don't know where the money goes. I don't know how, obviously Ronna McDaniel's out now.
Which is a good
I
thing.
thought she was terrible with money.
Horrible.
Great thing. It's going to take a long just because Trump took over the RNC with Michael Wheatley and Larry Trump doesn't mean that it happens like this. They have to clean house.
Am I wrong by saying when she was in charge of the RNC, the battleground states of Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, very limited funds, and that's why Pennsylvania got Oz because he had to bring his own money to that senatorship? I know it's out of the Lehigh County. This is just a conversation because people have said that to me that he had to bring his money because we got nothing for that seat to go against.
Ronna McDaniel
Lurch.
would have nothing to do with the other states. She would only have something to do with Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And you hit it on the head. I do think that Republicans take candidates with money so they don't have to invest money. I think that's a good assessment. I'm
So,
not saying
Dad,
not that I've heard that, but it's common sense.
But real quick, what you were talking about here. On Wednesday, federal filings show that the president's campaign with a nearly $40 million advantage over the Trump campaign. Biden's reelection campaign right now, $71 million. Trump's campaign, it doubles it, $33.5 million. So it just goes to show you how much money they have to spend more in advertising over Trump does. And Trump's basically, in 2016, I believe Hillary's was a lot more, and he used all his money.
Yes.
He had no campaign funding. It was all his money, and he was like more than 50% less than Hillary, if I'm correct. You got to look it up, but this is 40. He's less than double what Biden, and Biden can't even fucking walk, and he's got $71 million.
Yeah. Listen,
he can't go up steps.
Dave McCormick lost to Oz at the last election.
Yeah.
Dave McCormick is a candidate now. Obviously, Dave McCormick has his own money. He was probably the better candidate then. He's a great candidate now. Unless I'm completely being duped by what I see in person, I think he's genuine, and I think he's going to do a good job.
Didn't he win? So,
It was
again,
He lost Oz.
he lost to Oz, but then they appealed the count, and then
It was really close.
it was really close.
Really
But then,
close.
do you think it had to do with Oz bringing that money in? So he just said, "Okay, I'll fight
No,
next
not
time,"
at all.
or it was the
Not at all.
decision for the party.
When an election's that close, it's automatically going to be recounted.
Yeah, true.
It was that close.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Actually, I'm glad I asked that question because it,
You know.
it puts it burns out the fire that
Yeah.
you're thinking this could have happened, that could, and you're always worried. You know.
Yeah,
No matter what, within the party, you worry tremendously about what you're seeing.
of course.
Well, listen, let's get some. We're going to eat some pizza. We're going to come back, talk to Bobby. I have some other stuff we want to bring up, some other topics we'll talk about here. And then also, cheers. We don't have a shot. But anyways, cheers to Pabst Blue Ribbon. Episode 36 is brought to you by PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon. This is a great beer, guys. We're drinking it with a cold glass right here. And you can enjoy it out of your Freedom Funnel this summer by the pool. Should do some of these by the pool.
We'll have Bobby do it.
Maybe we'll do a podcast by the. We'll have Bobby do it.
No beer.
Oh, no beer. All right, we'll put 2 shots in it.
He hasn't done one yet.
Not tonight. Not tonight. All right, guys, we're gonna eat some pizza. Episode 36. We'll be right back.
It's a PizzaFellas podcast. Turn your speakers up, we better have a blast. Grab a drink, fill a glass. Light a cigar, come on, let's make
Do
it
it.
last.
We'll try it. We gotta do it.
Complaining about a shot. It's not Fireball, so
Yeah, pour yourself half a shot. There you go.
Oh, I can't.
There you go. What's up, guys? Episode.
not bad.
It's up.
Not bad.
We'll figure it out.
you'll take it.
Episode
I
36.
tasted it. I've drank it before.
We're over here. We're laughing because we're pouring shots of Conor McGregor's Irish whiskey proper. What is it?
12.
Proper 12. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But we're gonna cheers. Cheers, Bobby. Thanks for coming on. Cheers. Cheers to Nick.
Let me shout the Greek out. Hold on.
Cheers to Nick.
So
That's not bad.
shout.
No, it's good.
It's all right.
It's all right.
Shout out to my favorite Malacca, the king of the Greeks, Mr. Nick at Nick's Pizza in Bethlehem. He served us well with a cheesesteak, Sicilian, a grandma, and a plain. Thank you, Nick. Go enjoy his pizza if you're in the area. Nick's Pizza Bethlehem. He's on Main Street. He yells a lot, but
Got a shout out to the room here. We got Rick from Cisco here. We got Dave Sweeney from Master Supply. Steve Seiler from Seiler Insurance. And we got Joe Guasafi in the house from Taste of Italy, Hellatown. Hello, Joe. How are you?
and Georgette.
And
Don't
there's
forget
Gigi.
Georgette.
She's throwing out the prime.
Yeah, that all emptied in seconds.
That's it. We're getting rid of the prime. No
Oh,
more prime.
man.
No more prime.
Sorry, Logan Paul, but
She told me to drink it. Yeah, I have one. She knew.
don't you have one? Yeah, it's gonna hydrate you. Good for you. Not
I'll
good for
stick
you
to
now.
my water, the coldest water.
Anyways, guys, episode 36 here. Pabst Blue Ribbon, thank you for your sponsorship. Again, guys, this beer is a great beer. It's a classic beer. This is America. Right there, you take this in your hand, and and then you take this and you go by the pool. You have about 6, 7 of them. You won't wake up for about 8 hours.
Steve, you ready?
This is what America's about right there, guys. So thank you, PBR. Thank you for the
Oh,
sponsorship.
Steve's going to do it.
Oh, Steve, yeah, we'll get one before we close
Yeah,
out
but
here.
Sal, did you talk about...
What? Oh, and sorry, thank you, Antonio.
Welcome.
So, guys,
I'm proud.
episode 1 through 35, you saw our logo. We grew a little bit here. You can see in the background behind Oliver, we still have that old logo there, that stand up. Great logo, great way to start out. But episode 35, when we had Casa DeAndre on, I said to Antonio and I said to Justin, I said, we got to change the fucking logo. Got to change it. I said, we're not popping out on Spotify, YouTube, all these platforms. It's got to go. Every time I look at podcasts, I would go on Spotify and I'd look at all the different podcasts. I'm talking about sex podcasts, criminal podcasts, sports podcasts, betting. Every logo popped out. So we needed some change, and this is what we came up with, guys.
I actually had that.
And he had it. And we
it.
did some things. I told him to put a pizza slice, neon sign in the middle.
That.
Then and then put the best in the world.
Oh, we're supposed to put the hottest in the world by Juicy. He told me to put the hottest in the world.
It's all right. I like the best in the world.
He likes the hottest in the world.
All right. We could do that on T-shirts. The hottest in the world. Then we'll put Oliver's
Fucking change
ass on
that
the
too,
back,
man.
too. But anyways, guys, you see this right here? That's our new logo.
I have a logo of him.
Who?
Oliver.
Oh, you do?
The donkey.
The camel, not the donkey.
Yeah, the donkey.
Camel.
Oh, yeah, you're the camel. He's the donkey. That would be
No, I
hilarious.
actually have, no kidding, all kidding aside, I have something coming out for him.
Oh, my God.
Not the
here
shut
we
the
go.
fuck up thing, but I have something pretty cool. You're going to like it. No, it's your kids can look at it. You know.
All right. Well, Bobby, I want to ask you guys and everyone here. This is today. I was looking up some stuff, and I came across this, which I thought was crazy. So this is Don Bongino talking today. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on. Let me see if I can get this.
No, just put it right here, Sal.
I will.
Notice I think this is a joke. Watch this segment. If I didn't think this was important, I would not lead my Wednesday show with it. This is like the halfway point of the week where we want to get rocking and rolling and punching before the weekend. That's how important this segment is. Listen to Mark Morano talk about exactly this and what's coming. They're talking about it. This will happen if we lose. Take a look.
To address the current situation, this is all troubling, but if the president declares a climate emergency, what impact does that have?
Well, I mean, this is the serious story of the today. NBC News has reported that if Joe Biden declares a national climate emergency, he would have COVID-like powers under that emergency, and they also compared the emergency powers to the 9/11 emergency powers. The Center for Biological Diversity has estimated Joe Biden would get about 130 wartime-like powers by which to bypass democracy and impose a Green New Deal on America without a single vote of Congress. This is truly this is a Halloween story, not a story for Earth Day. This is a truly frightening story.
Wow.
Yes, I heard that also.
Now that is crazy to me. Like if they pulled that off,
History repeats itself, right?
Yeah.
they're saying you thought COVID was bad, COVID was just a practice. COVID was doubles. Now you get into the season, and we're all sitting here like, "Fuck, what? Like what? Like I thought this was over. I thought doubles was over. No, it's not. We got another fucking 3 weeks of it.
We're doing triples.
Yeah,
It's
We're doing
exactly
triples.
what happens when the American people give in. If you give in once, they expect you to give in twice.
I mean, think of the control he has.
No, think of the person behind him with the control.
So
they have.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the scary part.
You're both saying the wrong things. Think about the control we gave up.
Wow. Never thought about it that way.
We gave it up. I didn't. You didn't.
Yeah, no, I fought through it
But-
tooth and nail. I mean,
We gave it up.
people gave it up, though. I mean, they really, they just subdued. You know, even now to this day, I mean, people still, you just hear recently, you see people showing up with masks, this and that. It's like, what the hell is going on with you? What's the matter with you?
Forget about the mask. Imagine 10 years ago, a friend of yours telling you, I wish you were dead because you weren't vaccinated. That happened every day.
Wow.
Every day.
That's crazy. I mean, we went through hell during that whole period. I would hate to see some shit like this went on. It ages you. You know, it fucking ages you. People
You know
lost
that
their
in
minds.
New York University,
They cause a divide.
just because
I can't believe you just mentioned New York University.
New York
Before
University.
you say anything,
Okay, go ahead.
2020,
Yeah.
I have a baseball player in NYU. He texts me out of nowhere. Coach, you're not going to believe this. I'm being asked to pick my gender with 27, I think it was 24 or 27 genders. And he had to check a box.
27 genders?
24 or 27, I forgot. I checked my text messages before we came on.
Wait, this is on his what?
This is 2020.
No. What's he answering this on?
NYU.
Yeah, application or?
No, he's in the school. You just have to choose a gender so they know what gender you are. That's it.
For what, like his ID card?
I don't know.
I guess like a census?
He literally sent me a photo of a piece of paper.
It's a paper.
With 27 genders that you got to write
What
your
were
name.
they? Could you name a couple?
I have no idea.
Like an elephant?
I still don't understand.
Cat.
Cat.
Yo, there's a cat.
Voltron.
No exaggeration.
Uranus.
4 to 6 weeks later, I get another text. Coach, we're up to 46
Genders.
genders. Not only are we up to 46 genders in NYU in 2020, they had to choose their genders on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it could change.
Oh, so
Timeout.
hold on.
No.
I know what he's saying.
Hold on.
So let's say Monday.
3 days a week, you can change your gender.
So Monday you wake up, you're a man. Wednesday.
I know what he's saying. This
Wednesday,
can't be real.
I'm a cigar.
It's real.
No, Wednesday you become an armadillo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And
This
then
can't be real.
Friday you become a crocodile.
It's happening here in Lehigh County.
We know that.
It's happening in Emmaus High School.
It happened at Whitehall High School.
Emmaus High School has a furry. They had a cat.
Yes.
They had a cat.
They had a
As a
dog
gender.
at Whitehall. There was
Yeah.
a cat. There was a kid at Whitehall.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't care. I heard the story.
And he said he was a cat?
No, he was a dog. He bit another girl in his class.
How old is this kid?
I want to say they were 4th or 5th grade, maybe 5th grade.
It's not the kid's fault.
6th grade, 6th
It's
grade.
not the kid's fault.
No, the parents of the girl called in, and Whitehall told them, supposedly, allegedly, Whitehall told them, your daughter, he's a dog. It's okay. Your daughter can get moved to a different class.
The mother said that about the dog?
No, the Whitehall board, the high school, whoever made the decision, told the parents of the girl.
I'm not going to say what I'm going to say.
That's
Well,
so
I
he's
know,
right.
I know of a parent that wrote a letter to the school that actually said, my child is allergic to cats and cannot be in your class anymore.
Meaning there's a cat in her class?
One of the kids was a cat. Was a furry.
The mother should.
So
No, I know of teachers, personal teachers, like very close. They have litter boxes in their classrooms.
yes, that's real.
Are we fucking talking about? What are we talking about here?
I'm not
is
joking.
going on?
Yes.
So the little girl raises her hand. Teacher,
She got to pee. She
Yes,
goes to the litter
Susie.
box.
can I go pee in the litter box? Go
No,
ahead.
no. She doesn't ask.
What
'cause she's
size
a
litter
cat.
box would they need for me and you, Antonio?
I don't know.
I can't. What do they make that? I would just like to see. Like,
That's a parenting issue.
I would actually
yeah,
pay to see him.
but imagine me and you. That's my litter box. It's 7'10" high and 22 feet wide.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is right?
It's crazy.
This is the people.
You
Not,
didn't know this?
No.
It's
This is news to
fucking
me.
nuts. Oh, it's all over.
The mother should get her fucking teeth kicked in. Number one.
But again, let's now that you
The
know,
fucking daughter should get a matzada for like 15 minutes.
now that you know this,
Honest to God.
now that you know this,
Yeah, I'm going to go to my father and say, you know what I'm going to be today? He say, what are you going to be? I'm going to be a cat. Oh, yeah? You want to be a cat? I'll show you a cat.
yeah.
you,
I'll show
have
you how
children?
cats hit.
Antonio, you have children?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, knowing this, that's happening in the schools, happening in colleges. If I told you 84,000 Republicans in Lehigh County, how many do you expect to vote in 2024 in November?
89.
We're not voting. That's the problem.
So what the fuck do we got to do here?
Stop complaining and get to the ballot. Stop complaining.
Every vote, primary, every major election, every vote.
I look at it this way. It's my job as a dad to make sure my children vote. I got to fight with my daughter to vote because she absolutely hates politics, has zero interest, but I make her vote. And I try to educate her and allow her to make her own choices. But what I noticed this week, and I noticed it on Facebook, Volpe Sports Bar. Don't know the guy, never met him. On election day, he put on Facebook, make sure you get out and vote. I'm assuming that he's a restaurant owner. He's Republican. Assuming.
We had them on the show.
Okay.
Franny, right?
If every business owner made sure his staff voted, his family voted, the staff's family voted, and it moves on from there. If I tell my volunteers every day, you got to be willing to have an uncomfortable conversation, which most people are not willing to have. I've changed minds on a phone. I've been cursed out on a phone call, and now the guy is volunteering for me. It took me 55 minutes.
To talk to him.
After being cursed out. People are angry, and everybody has a right to have their opinion.
So you cold call? Is that what you did?
No, he called me.
Oh.
He called me because he got a random mail-in ballot from a Republican company in D.C. I think I got it. I'm assuming you got it too. I think everybody got it. It didn't come from us. It came from D.C. I was already registered, so I thought it was a waste of money. They didn't do their research, but everyone got it. He was just upset that he got it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He just called me up, cursing me out. And usually when you curse me out, I hang up or I curse right back. I had a conversation, and it lasted 55 minutes, and now the guy wants to volunteer for me.
Wow.
I try to explain to people when I say change one mindset a day, it works. But how do we change 84,000 mindsets?
With the help of other people.
With the help of other people. Also, though, with you in your line, you have that mindset. But your colleagues might not have that mindset.
No, not too many people do.
So it's not how do you get the votes from us. It's how do we control the mindset of the people that go out and try to get the votes from us and then start. It's like having a coach. Like, we'll go back to it.
Yes.
You have a coach. He can run an offense, but can he call play at this decision? You can. But most of your guys, they can't. They can't get to that pressure. You know what I'm trying to say?
I get it.
Well, some guys are only an offensive coordinator. They're not a coach. You know what I mean? Some guys are just a position coach. They're not a head guy.
Yes.
And you see that transition in sports all the time. It's the same thing in business. Some guys aren't a leader.
It's the same thing in everything in life.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, everything.
Everything in life.
Yeah.
I've been on my own since I was 14. I didn't have a dad. I had no growing. I raised myself. Tons of mistakes.
Sure.
Tons of mistakes. I don't smoke. I never smoked a cigarette in my life. I never smoked weed in my life. I never smoked anything in my life.
You're in the wrong place, bro.
I get it. But I did it because of what I saw growing up.
Right.
So whatever happened to me as a child, made me a better man, made me a better dad, made me.
What would you say was your toughest years growing up?
I've been on my own since I was 15.
Yes, since then.
I would say I went to work at 14. I rented a back of a garage of an old Italian man at 15 years old with just cash in my hand. I got lucky.
Yeah, you got lucky.
You would never be able to do that today. I got very lucky. I was paying $375 a month. I mean, it was one room. But I raised myself. I worked 3 jobs my whole life. Up until I retired, I always worked 3 jobs.
You have siblings?
I have 2 younger sisters, but again, they still they're still with my mom. But I've been on my own since 15.
Gotcha.
When my father died.
Gotcha.
It's tough to grow up that way, make mistakes, and make sure your children never make the mistakes that you make. Very hard on my son. Not as much as my daughter, but I'm very, very hard on my son. Still to this day, he's 22.
Yeah.
He's a fine young man. I've met him.
My son could probably, I prepared him to take the worst of anything in life. And that's what I wanted to do. And I prepared him for the worst. And I've always thought of worst case scenarios. That's how I still am today. So when I say I could adapt to anything, some people, when I try to explain how to change a mindset, I sound nuts sometimes, like with people I work with. But I can adapt to absolutely anything. And when I see what is happening to the country, how do you adapt to it and win? I'm all about winning. I have never allowed my son to beat me in a one-on-one game of any sport. I won't lose in a game of Monopoly when I'm playing with my kids. You know, I know how to win. That's the only thing I know how to do, because that's the only way to survive when you're on your own, with no money, and how do you eat and all that stuff. So when you adapt to stuff and you only have a mindset of winning, it doesn't matter when I say I don't worry about people's feelings, because I don't worry about my own feelings. My feelings don't matter. How do I combat what's happening to me? You know, so when I say I have an uncomfortable conversation, I hurt people's feelings. But most people, when they're honest with themselves, they understand it. And they get it. And you change mindsets. And if we stopped reacting to our feelings, because we make fun of the other side. We make fun of liberals. Yeah, you know, all the time. You have all those T-shirts, F your feelings. Yeah. But we react to our own feelings. Right. And it's the worst thing you could do in life. If you make every decision on your feelings, you can't survive in any business, in any life. Your kids won't survive in school today.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's just the way to move on.
I got a question for you. What's your opinion? I know it's strong. You know, this topic's a little touchy, but what is your opinion on the whole Israel-Palestine thing? You know, you got these riots at the colleges going on.
Yes.
It's chaos. I saw videos today on X. You know, people are protesting. Why are you protesting? They have no idea. Two girls.
The two girls from Columbia went to NYU.
Yes,
had no idea what they were
doing. Go, I don't even know. I think these were with these Palestinian people, and something's going on. But yeah, they had no idea why they were protesting. You know, so that's a big issue. Second, neither's right. You know, what's going on is, at the end of the day, there's children being killed. There's stuff going on. Everything there would be peace. You know, if Trump wasn't president, I believe if he was president, none of this shit would be going on, but that's another story. Well, but real quick, at the end of the day, I'm not pro anything. I'm pro America. And what's going on in there? What is your opinion? Do you think the chaos? What do you think about it?
I think that this government funds both sides of every war. And I think you say it doesn't matter, but it does. Donald Trump being in office, there was no war.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Yeah,
everybody before him, everybody after him, there's war. Putin has invaded a country with the last 3 out of 4 presidents. Why did he not invade during Trump?
I know why, but I'm just saying.
It's obvious.
The average person doesn't.
You know, so when you're pro-America as a president, you're pro-America. And I don't look at this administration as being pro-America.
100% not.
You know,
they're definitely pro-Ukraine, pro-Israel over America.
Which, again...
It's a PizzaFellas podcast. Turn your speakers up, we better have a blast. Grab a drink, fill a glass. Light a cigar, come on, let's make it last. Pizza Talk with Sal and Joe, Oliver, Antonio. Pizza stories, they gon' tell us. Let's have some fun with the
I didn't vote for Biden. I voted against Trump.
That's what it is, Joe.
So that statement.
Now that you mentioned it, in Pennsylvania, 157,000 voters voted for Nikki Haley, who already dropped out of the race.
Yeah, it doesn't make fucking sense.
It made no sense.
157,000 Republicans voted for Nikki Haley, who is already dropped out of the race. There is a problem on our side.
Yeah.
A big problem.
And it goes back to feelings. You're a boss. You run a business. I've worked 1,000 jobs in New York. I don't remember a boss that I liked. But I needed that boss so I could feed my family.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I need to like you if you pay me well?
You don't.
I just need to work hard for you.
Exactly. Come and do the job.
Why do I need to like a president that runs the country well?
You don't.
What do I care about his personal life?
Know how he's doing it.
Now, I didn't care that Bill Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky thing when I lived in New York. It didn't bother me.
No, you got a blowjob.
Who cares?
What the fuck you?
Yeah, but look what happened.
You got a blowjob in the Oval Office under the desk, right?
Now he looks like a fucking mummy.
But
man,
back then,
he got quite a few blowjobs over there. You
looks
know?
like he's.
Back,
and he dressed up in a red dress on Epstein's Island. You know,
back then I'm younger.
Probably took
I don't
it in
know
the
any
ass.
better. I thought he was a good
100%.
president. I didn't care about his personal life. It didn't matter.
Well, it was all hearsay. Now
Yeah.
we know,
It
you know,
doesn't
conspiracy means the truth.
I don't care what you do in your personal life. If you run a good business,
That's
I'll
it.
support the business.
And every
That's
time
it.
it comes down to, they take somebody who's trying to do something good, and then they right away bring in the personal life.
Correct.
You know, which has nothing to do with, well, we're on track or we're
Right.
doing this, and you know, that's like the common the common play.
I'm talking to the New Yorker at the rally, and I'm being interviewed, and she asked me, well, how long you been a fan of Donald Trump? I said, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. And her eyes were wide. Like, she thought she had a juicy story. I said, I'm a grown man. I'm a fan of the New York Yankees. I respect Donald Trump. And she didn't know what to say. I don't understand the fanboy phase of anything. The man runs the country like he would run a business.
That's it.
And that's what we need.
And it ran good, and he did it. You know, somebody said, "How are you going to do it? Wave a magic wand?" And he didn't wave a magic wand. He just did it.
He went
got
to
in
work.
there, and he went to work.
He just does the right thing.
24/7 a day.
I couldn't care less what he does on his personal life.
Nor could I.
Doesn't
Doesn't
bother me.
Doesn't bother me at all.
But a great
You know.
leader. A great leader.
Right now, he's the only leader.
I agree 100%.
Only leader.
Yeah, there's not many options. But to go back around quick, the protest at the college, it's recent, right now, right? My only thing about this, which I agree on a lot, if this was any other race or religion that was getting hated on, people would be arrested. It would be a bloodbath.
Yes.
There would be fires. But because it's Jewish people, there's nothing like I saw today at USC. It happened at USC. So they don't have guns, the cops.
What do you have, rubber bands?
They were pulling out fucking
batons?
The batons. Yeah. What are you going to do with 10,000 people in batons? Where are you going?
Well, I got to interject in this.
Go ahead.
Bring out a water gun and just wash them out. That's it.
The Israeli-Palestine war. It's been going around since Jesus Christ.
Yes.
It's going to go on for another 3,000 years. You cannot cease fire there. You could. The Palestinians say that's their land. The Israelis say that's their land. Listen, there's got to be an understanding in some way of a form. At the end of the day, ceasefire, war, whether Palestine, whether Israel, you got people fucking dying.
Yeah, it's no good.
That's no good on either side.
No.
You don't want to see a human die unless you're a fucking scumbag. We say, oh, I hope he fucking dies. No, you don't hope that he dies. Because that man or that woman, and there's a child and babies, die. It's not good for nobody. They mourn. But we sit back and we aid Ukraine, which people have it on their Facebook, their flag. Put the American flag on your Facebook. That's where you live, bro.
That's
Well, back to what you said, pro-American.
Yeah.
Stand up and talk about it. No, we got to give him the money. Why do we have to? Why do I have to give him the money? Why do I have to do it? I don't want to do it.
The best is,
Yeah, right?
if you watch the videos, Ukraine is thriving.
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 Yeah.
Thriving.
He's a great actor.
Great actor. You know, he
The
played.
best. He
Do
should
you-
win an Academy
Do
Award.
you guys know he was a comedian?
Yeah,
He's a fucking dodo bird.
Listen,
That's what he is.
There's a video on YouTube of him playing the piano with his dick.
Probably is.
That's what he's known for in Canada.
And
Or
dan-
not Canada, excuse
and-
me,
and dancing with
Ukraine.
heels. And
He was dancing with heels and in Ukraine, Zelensky, and playing the piano with his dick.
I seen the dancing in a dress with heels and shit. That's just
Like-
fucking disturbing.
okay. Whether he's in a dress or
And he
playing the
just got
piano
95 million.
or 95 billion.
Billion, whatever the fuck it is.
You know, I mean, 95 billion didn't go directly.
And San
all that.
Francisco has poor people all over the streets.
Clean that the fuck up. Well, you can't clean that state up, but you
You could.
When the president of China arrives, you can clean it up in one day.
That was ridiculous.
That was great.
That was insane. It looked like, oh shit, you want to go on vacation? Let's go to San Francisco. Except for the Chinese flags all over the fucking city.
Yeah.
Like you're in America. That would never happen in China.
You know, I'm going to say
You know,
something. I'm a registered Republican. Joe and I went to the rally. You know, you've seen the reels. Joe is in his glory. You know, yelling that he loves Trump. That's not. I love you. I love you. Okay. But I'm going to say something really open. If JFK was alive and he was running for president, I'd be a Democrat today.
He was a great president.
He was an amazing president.
Yeah, because he wanted to change everything.
Yes.
The
So you wanna
problem
get rid of the
is
CIA.
The problem in it. No, it wasn't CIA.
Yes, he did. He wanted to get rid of the CIA.
Besides that, Sal,
That was the
besides
biggest
that,
problem.
It was beyond that.
That
The
was the
mob
biggest
fucking
issue.
killed him.
Yeah, well, the mob and the CIA
Yeah.
worked together at the time.
Well, the
That's
thing is-
why the mob
Hold on.
killed him.
The mob was the George Soros at the time.
Yeah.
That's simply put.
I just went to Boston with my son for a Celtic game. He's a Celtics fan.
Oh God, they lost today.
I went to the JFK Museum for the first time. Walking around the JFK Museum,
Yeah.
you would think he was president for 8 years.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of things that man accomplished
Yep.
in that short time.
in such a short amount of time. I don't think any president worked as hard as he did.
And he knew his family
Yeah.
was
He
in
was
the
too
know.
light.
I didn't know. I haven't been into politics. I wasn't big into history. The things that I was reading, like my son knows everything. Like he has everything
JFK
memorized.
He was
fan.
too liked.
He was amazing.
Like,
Amazing
loved him.
president.
He was
He-
going
he-
to change
Yeah.
the whole central banking system.
Yes.
And fuck them all over.
Yes.
Listen.
They would have been so fucked this whole
In our
world.
time period, we've had great presidents, great leaders, bad presidents, bad leaders. Abraham Lincoln. Let's start with George Washington. Abraham Lincoln, JFK, Ronald Reagan, Donald Trump. Those are my picks for my parlay.
Maybe Andrew Jackson, would you say?
Yeah.
Didn't Andrew Jackson get rid of the central banking system?
I don't know.
He got rid of it because we ended up in it, and then it came back in 1913 or 1912 under Woodrow Wilson, who also created the FBI.
I find it funny that a Republican president stopped slavery, and what we see today is amazing.
It's crazy.
Like no
Whatever
one,
happened
no,
to that
no
thing,
one,
that
no one took
movement?
history.
BLM. What happened to them?
They're frauds.
They ran out of money.
Oh, they ran out of money.
Yeah, because they bought $1 million houses in California with all the money.
The three fucking dykes. That's what they were.
Again, I go back to
That was the
they
biggest
didn't lift
crock
a
of
finger
shit.
for the black community.
I go back
Oh,
to
biggest crock
normal
of shit.
conversations that I have every day. I struggled my whole life financially. I bought my first house in 2019 in the Trump administration.
And you felt good about it.
I felt great about it. I busted my ass to do it, but we're here 4 years later, and there are weeks where I have to pay for my food on credit card.
Sure.
I cannot be the only person.
No,
I might be the only person to admit it, but I can't be the only person. What this country has become and what people see and don't see and why we're not reacting is beyond me.
$7 a gallon in California.
We can talk
Going
about
up to $8.
$7
Going up
fucking
to
dollars.
$8.
Where are you going, you Californians?
Going up to 8.
Again,
I'll
since,
tell you, you know-
since 2020, all we've done is complain. We got to stop complaining.
100%.
And we got to go full force pedal to the metal.
Though,
and get out
I was
there.
watching a podcast on TV. I want to say it was PBD, but I could be wrong. Candace Owens was on it. And the question was, if you ran for president, how would you do things differently? And she basically came out and started, well, if you live in your house and you're sleeping there and your family and your children are there, your front door is broke, you have holes in your walls, your windows are cracked, your heating system isn't working.
Yeah.
Your garage door doesn't open. You're having financial difficulties making things happen. Electric is on, electric is off. Would you go across the street to your neighbor's house and start fixing theirs and let your family live in disarray? She goes, she explained it as a very simple explanation. If I was president, I would clean this country up, start border. Why are we worried about Ukraine's border? Why are we worried about sending our military over to correct other people's problems when we should first clean up our problems, our cities, all the inner cities, Baltimore, Detroit, so on and so on, these cities, the crime that's going on. We clean up the nation
Philadelphia,
nationally.
Kensington.
Drugs.
Forget about fucking
She talked about
Philadelphia.
drugs
That's a
in the
fucking
country,
joke.
this and that. She goes, we have the power in this country to clean that up immediately. Now, if our house is in order, well, then somebody needs help. We can consider it. But the people in your house need to have safety, need to be assured that they can make a living, need to make sure that everything's clean. City should be the right way. We are policing everybody and letting our country decay. Now, this isn't word for word, but her whole explanation was that. And she's so right on spot.
She's always right on spot.
I mean,
I love the woman.
I love her too. I think she's a great speaker. She's a tremendously intelligent woman. That's a leader, because when she speaks, you listen to her. But what she's saying is the outline, the bullet points for what any leader, any politician, any mayor in the city, any township or city council, everybody should be thinking, our city's a mess, or this is a mess. We should be cleaning up this. We tolerate the ignorance, we tolerate the problems, and then we just let them decay our society, and then we go somewhere else.
Of course.
It couldn't be any more simpler. It couldn't be, and this
It's
is
an
where
easy
we live.
process. It's just like through the World War I's and World War II's. Destroy and rebuild.
This was happening little by little for years.
Oh, yeah, this has been going on since
course.
70s, maybe even before that.
I mean, there was stuff.
No, this has been implemented through different
Yes.
processes, listen, I could go on if I I know a lot of it, and it's been already in place.
It starts with our school system.
And the school system's the biggest one, because now what people don't, and I say this all the time, the universities that are teaching the children now are growing this. And I didn't realize it when I was in college, and I graduated in 2011. So from 2007 to 2011, you didn't see it as much, but the process was there. You saw some teachers integrating some weird stuff, they would teach you this. Once I graduated and got through, my sister, now my brother, you get through these years, what they're doing is indoctrinating this woke agenda through the universities, and then it's translating. These kids are now getting the jobs that are now growing these businesses. Google, fucking Amazon, all that, you know what I mean? They're getting to that point, and no one knows that it's happening. They're not understanding.
Because it starts so many years earlier. So when we were younger, when they stopped teaching Common Core math, they went to Common Core math. So, I look at it as math and English are the only two subjects you need to survive in life. You need that to work. We stopped teaching kids how to
2
write
plus
cursive.
2 isn't 4.
Forget the 2 plus 2.
It's crazy.
First, the thing, we stopped teaching them cursive. How are kids supposed to sign a check? They don't know how to write their name.
No, they draw a little animal.
They do not know how to write their name.
No.
It's a real
Well,
problem.
Bobby, it goes deeper than that. You know what it is? We were brought up in a system. If you look at hospitals and you look at schools, it's the same common ground. They look exactly the same. You're putting a kid in school in a system.
Yes.
Okay? Go from this class to this. They want you to be the sheep. You go to here. It's a systemized system, right? It's sunny outside. We're inside. You're not outside enjoying the day. because they want you to be part of the system. Same thing as a hospital, go from here to there. It's all a money scheme.
I don't think it was that much of a system when I went to school.
It was we were covered. We were. I'm telling you,
I don't see it that way.
it was systematic.
You know, I was taught math. I was taught how to sign my name. We were outside. We played. I never knew if a teacher was married. I never knew what the teacher's sex life was. I didn't know any of
or
that
even
stuff.
her first name.
Never. Yeah. I did not know any of it. Now all of a sudden, you know, my children go to school. They stop learning how to sign their name.
Yeah.
They stop learning how to add and subtract.
Don't even know how to write a check.
You know, and they know everything about their teacher.
That's crazy.
You know,
Teach them how to write a check, open a bank account, get into stocks, do something.
It's insane.
You know, there's this guy on. He's a big investor and stuff. He goes on. He's on TikTok and Instagram. He talks about this, and he said the worst thing I ever did as a parent was allow my kids to go to school.
Yeah.
He's on a podcast, and the guy's like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Listen, public school, Catholic school, it doesn't matter what it is. A school system is like a jail system."
Exactly right.
Now it is, yes.
So where do you go when you learn something for 45 minutes, and then a bell rings, and now you never learn that again? You go on to the next thing.
Part of the system. Part of the system.
Part of this. It's a system they're growing. He goes. Schools are just like that. They're built like jailhouses.
Yeah. Now they come out and you're robotic.
Yes.
What do I got to do? I got to work that 9 to 5 because you were taught not 8:30 to 3.
Which goes back to how do you adapt to life? My daughter has always wanted to be a teacher. My wife and I always wanted her to be a teacher. We've always thought it's the perfect job for a young woman to have a family, have the summer off, and raise your children.
Right.
But she's a junior. She's going into a junior year, so she's a sophomore right now. So 2 years ago, how do I make a decision as a parent to put my daughter into the teacher's union? I couldn't do it. Everything that was happening, how do I allow my daughter to lose control of her future? I could not do it. So
yeah, because what's she going to get involved in, right?
And I had no idea. Who knows? You know, I had no idea. So I made a decision. Obviously, at that time, 2 years ago, every college was forcing vaccinations and all this nonsense. So now I have a short list of schools that I can send her to. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm being abused by personal friends. How are you making a decision for this aspect? Me, I think I'm saving my daughter's life.
100%.
100% you are.
And I'm also, at the same time, I'm making a decision where I need my daughter to be a strong woman.
Right.
I need her to be able to control her own life.
Right.
So I decided to send her to Delaware Valley University and convince her that she should be a veterinarian, which is going to cost me a shitload of money because I got to go to 8 years of school. But, I know she loves animals. My wife hated me. We fought for weeks. She can't handle it. I don't know if she can do it. I believe every child could adapt. I believe if you push your kid and make your kid strong enough, they can do anything. I've always been that way.
Right.
I pushed her. I've never been prouder. She's doing great in school. She just got her first vet job this summer. And we realize that we raised two strong kids.
Amen.
We knew we raised a strong boy. My daughter proved in the last 2 years that we raised two strong kids. And I believe you have to do that today with every kid. We don't do that anymore. And that's why I stopped coaching. You still coach. I stopped coaching. There's no accountability in life.
No, I do it. To be honest, I do it. I'm coaching 7, 8, 9-year-olds. The reason I do it is because I realized in the past couple of years with Joey growing, there's been less discipline in the household.
Correct.
And when they come to me, those 2 hours I give to the 15, 20 kids I have, they're getting disciplined that they're not learning anywhere else.
Greatest feeling in the world.
And it makes me feel like, and my wife says to me all the time, she's like, you're fucking crazy. Like, some of the shit I say is insane. Like, we were, just for example, last Saturday we had a tournament championship game. We had a 3-hour break. Like they were behind in the tournament. 20 minutes before the game, my kids, the team we're playing is all by the net, waiting to get on the turf. My kids were screwing around a little. I turned around and I said, everyone sit the hell down right now. You're about to play a championship. Take it serious and start focused. If you want to fool around, go the hell home with your parents right now. And there's 2,000 people watching me. My wife's like, but the reason I'm saying that is that's how I want to take that. They don't get that at home. You know what I mean? That discipline you learn, that's the only reason I do it.
Correct.
It gives me that gratitude. Like, okay, I gave that kid all I had for 2 hours.
2 hours.
And that's it. I'll move on.
I got a question for you, Bobby. So Trump still hasn't picked his running mate.
Yeah.
Right? Which is really odd, right? In a way. In a way. Who do you think? Because Joe and I, we solve the world when we're over there, right? And, that's one thing. Well, I mean, we throw like 10 names at each other. And maybe it could be this, and maybe it could be that. Maybe it could be this person, maybe it could be that person. In your opinion, who do you think he's gonna pick?
Honestly,
zero
idea. If I had his ear,
yeah,
I would want him to pick Byron Donalds out of Florida.
There you go. Steve has spoken. There you go.
Wow.
That's who I would want as vice president.
We never spoke about him.
No,
why him?
I think the kid is amazing. I think he's genuine.
He's not washed, in other words.
No. And again, it's very hard to judge people today.
Yeah.
I tend to judge people the right way. When I watch him, and I believe him. And it's hard to say with any politician. I just love his enthusiasm. Where he is a Brooklyn kid, and that's not the reason.
No.
I have met his mother, not knowing who he was. She just happened to live on my sanitation route. She's just a good woman.
So you picked up her trash?
Canarsie. I did. I picked. In the beginning years, I started in Canarsie, and she was. When a woman comes out and offers you a bottle of water and she's genuine,
that's a lot. That means a lot.
It does mean something.
Yeah.
Family values are high.
Yes, and you can tell he comes. He's raised by a good mother, and you can tell he's genuine.
Yeah.
And I don't want him to make a choice because it's a woman, or a black woman, a black man. I don't want those choices. I think those are the wrong choices. I want him to choose the best person for the job.
There you go.
Somebody that's going to protect them, and somebody that can carry it for 8 more years.
I often say this. I know he's running as the independent, but I often thought to myself, Robert Kennedy there. This guy, that would be an amazing kind of combination. Maybe he could bring some other voters into the fold, and he could change some dynamics going on there. But
I look at it differently.
You do? How?
He's a Democrat. He's not an independent.
He's
only an independent because he was told he's not allowed to run against Biden.
Okay. And you don't feel the way he speaks and how he thinks on issues? And
a lot of his issues I agree with.
So do I.
It's not necessarily where I would choose him to be a running mate for Trump.
You don't think he could become fully committed?
I don't.
I
don't.
Again, him and I speak, and I have somebody in mind.
And who do you
have?
But
he won't run.
Who?
Oliver Nasri. Was they're going to go to the Chicken Lounge?
Is that the owner of Westgate Pizza?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's going to be the first Afghanistan in the White House other than Osama.
But all kidding aside, like you said, you can be yellow, black, green, or red. It don't matter as long as you have those core values.
Absolutely.
And you think what was the VP he had?
Pence.
What
do I know?
Well, he flipped, Joe.
I
don't think he was really for it after the first year. There was a little struggle there, between him and Trump. But he needs somebody more toned, per se.
He hasn't always made the right decisions. Obviously, he's fired a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people turned on him. I mean, I hope he makes better decisions this time around. If you asked me a year ago, I would say DeSantis.
Yeah, but he's slipping too.
I don't know if he flipped.
He's getting paid.
I don't like DeSantis. He's got those penguin boots on.
I don't like that he
those fucking leather black.
I don't like
boots.
that he went against Trump.
He's a good guy. He's a good governor. Nothing.
He's a great governor.
Yeah. No,
I would take him in Pennsylvania in a heartbeat.
Oh, everyone would. Yeah.
And that's what we really.
You know who's a firecracker?
We need a Republican governor.
You know who's a firecracker and very loyal to him? Is Green.
Green.
Her. What's her name? What's that?
Oh, Marjorie Taylor.
Marjorie Taylor.
Get the fuck out of here with her. Stop.
She's a firecracker.
She's a fucking loose. Look, she's the funnel upside fucking.
Yeah, but you know what?
She doesn't even know how to spell her fucking name.
You need her to stay where she's at. She's fighting.
She's a fucking stoner that is mad loud and she's kind of pretty for fucking her age.
He's not picking.
Get out of here.
I know he's not picking her. Yeah.
She's got to get thrown down the fucking garbage with all the prime. That's how stupid she is.
He might pick Nikki Haley, which
I don't know.
No, agree with. She's a warmonger. She fucking loves war. She's a fucking no. If he did that, that would be the biggest disaster. I'd freak the fuck out. I'd be like, that was the worst decision ever.
I would assume, due to what he's going through with all this bullshit, these trials and stuff, that's probably delayed him in making his decision. And he doesn't want to bring that person into the fold of the persecution.
I think the decision's already made.
Oh, it's 100% already made.
To announce it.
Shit, I hope he says John Daly. And John Daly comes out, smokes fucking a pack of Newports and drinks all day. He said, what do you think, John Daly? Should we give money to Ukraine? No. Give it to the U.S. Okay, sounds good. Pass the bill. Here we go.
Crazy.
I mean,
crazy times.
Bobby, thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. We'll have you on again in a couple months when shit gets going here.
Yeah, it's going to get going quick.
We got close. So we'll do a special, before the election, maybe election night.
Is there any more rallies coming up or anything like that? Should we know about or anything interacting?
The last I heard, Trump's going to Wildwood, New Jersey.
That's what I heard too.
Ooh.
And like next week, I think, right?
Soon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anything up here, though, that we should be aware of?
I do think he will be back.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that for sure, but I have a feeling he will be back.
I would say guaranteed.
Pennsylvania is going to be extremely, extremely big for him.
It's going to be unique for him, sure. Yeah. He needs to win PA.
He does need to win.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
And I think we will.
Yeah.
I think we will, Bobby.
We can only pray.
Yeah.
Well, episode 36, guys. Remember, go on Spotify, YouTube, subscribe, hit that bell. Thank you to PBR. Again, summertime's coming up, guys. Drink this by the pool. Enjoy your Freedom Funnel right there. Grab one of those on Amazon. Shout out to our sponsors quick.
Here we go. Jeff Adams, Remax Realty, 610-972-5323. Pennsylvania, New Jersey. You need a house, need to sell a house, need to buy a house. Get with Jeff. Enter.net, market, social media, and website design. Our good man Juicy over there that's working the camera tonight. Brand new camera. Franco's Pizza, Rosenfilippo Bedelia in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Thank you. Lehigh Valley Pizza Shops, Oliver Nasri to my left, to your right. T&Y Construction, Tony Nasser. No job too big, no job too. All your construction needs. You need a fence, we'll put it up. You need to build a house, we'll do that too. Master Supply, Barb and Kevin Master. Thank you. And Dave Sweeney, I hope you feel a little bit better with that foot, but he's still giving out $50 for every new customer that he sees. Banko Beverage, Joe Marino, Tony Gallo, Jim Glassick, thank you again. Great banners that you gave us. Thank you again, Joe, for that. Calypso, Joe's Teas, Zoa, Pabst, Jack Daniels. Thank you for that. Guys, May 13th, Monday. May 13th, the Monday after Mother's Day. We will be at the Anna Capri Food Show at the Liberty House in Jersey City. Come by. We'll have a podcast there, eat some food, win some money, a lot of giveaways, a lot of pizza influencers that are going to be there. If you stick around after, I'll take you out to dinner. Oliver will pay. Thank you again to my good man, Nick the Greek at Nick's Pizza in Bethlehem. Great pizza. Thank you, Nigala. I love you, man. Steve, you thank you to Bobby Arena again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Lehigh County Republican Committee. Go see them. Guys, we're talking about our country here. Go out and vote. Seriously, go out and vote. When people say to me, no, my vote doesn't count, it certainly does. It's one vote that we need more. Okay? Instead of staying home, go out and vote. Call Oliver. He'll pick you up and bring you. Thank you to our crew out here. Juicy's there doing the boards. Steve's going to do it. Kobe just walked in. Nice seeing you, Kobe. Rick from Cisco's there. Joe Grasaffi's sitting there looking at us. And Dave Sweeney.
And remember, guys, we are right now taking sponsorships. If you guys want to sponsor the PizzaFellas podcast, let us know. DM us. Direct message us on all the social media platforms.
Got one more thing. Juice and I were talking about this before the podcast, so we should be having a merch store coming up shortly. So if you want to buy some merch, I got a couple of designs coming out. I got a couple shirts coming out. I have a shit ton of stickers coming out. Got a shit ton of everything coming out. So if we'll get you the link on PizzaFellasPodcast.com, and we'll go from there. We'll post it on Instagram and Facebook. And
just so all our fans know, for example, of what we're spending today, Antonio tried to purchase some pizza cutters that we're having with our label on it for the food show.
Oh, fucking ass.
And our fucking credit card, our debit card for our business account, $500. Canceled. Well, canceled. He's calling me at like 8:30 in the morning. This fucking card, this bank, it's restricted me on the. I said, yeah, let me call the bank. Call the bank. Then he's got to call the bank. We got to go in. I said, enough with the restrictions. God damn it. Finally, they took it.
She goes, oh, you have such and such a restriction. I'm spending $500.
What restrictions?
What fucking restrictions do I have?
It's my money.
Anyway, don't get me fucking started. So that's all gone.
So that's overdue. We're definitely having
Shout out to Bruno. He not here. He's a little bit under the weather tonight. Actually, yesterday when I saw him, he was a lot under the weather.
If you need health insurance, our boy Steve Seiler is going to PBR.
Come this way, Steve.
Episode 36. Episode 36. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Nice little chug here by our. If you need health insurance, that's how you pass the health insurance test right there. You chug a PBR, and then you take a blood test the next morning, and you get Ultra Preferred. That's from Steve Seiler, Seiler Insurance. There you go. Guys, cheers.
Thanks
Episode
again.
36.
You got another shot?
Yep. Salute. Cheers. Salute to our fans. Cheers. Salute to Donald Trump. Hopefully,
oh, my God. What the fuck is that?
Our president. Fucking proper 12. All right, guys. We're out. See you.
My God. It's like rubbing alcohol.
Pretty good. 3.18.
It's a PizzaFellas podcast. Turn speakers up, we better have a blast. Grab a drink, fill a glass. Light a cigar, come on, let's make it last.